Welcome to the podcast. My name is Jamie Knight, and I'm a realtor with Real Broker here in Cajun Country, Lafayette, Louisiana. The goal of this podcast is to provide massive value by bringing insider access to our area's top agents and find out how they've been able to achieve massive success in their business. My hope is that you take away a few things from their experiences to grow your own business. My guest today is a great friend and fellow real agent, Carrie Theard. Carrie has been in the real estate business for 11 years and was the previous broker of District South, a small boutique brokerage here in Acadiana. Carrie has never purchased leads, and she works her sphere and her past clients. Carrie is a mom and a mama, but refuses to be called that. Welcome to the podcast, Carrie.
Thanks, Jamie. Yeah, I'm not a mama. I mean, I'm going to be 44 next month. That's not mama age.
Yeah, I know, but you got to find a name like Nanny or something. You got to find something.
Not Nanny. That's not going to work either. But to be quite honest, you know, my grandbaby is precious. I give her everything she wants, and she can call me whatever she wants. Yeah, but absolutely. She'll decide that when she can talk.
Gotcha. Or whatever she calls you.
It's fine.
That'll just be it.
Yeah.
Whatever she can say.
That's right.
Well, cool. Well, tell us a little bit about how you got into the real estate business, and I know you and I have been friends for all 11 years. We've worked together before, so tell us a little bit about how you got into the real estate business.
Well, it was really quick how I got into it, but I was managing my family's drugstore in the oil center.
Okay.
And we sold, and so I needed a job. Well, my best friend's husband had a real estate brokerage, and he said, Carrie, just go get your license. You're going to come work for me. And that's exactly what I did.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. So you got into the business, and in the beginning you weren't buying the leads, but they were buying the leads for you or whatever. And tell us a little bit about those early days in the business.
That was really, really fun, the early days. I think that my start into real estate was not like most agents when they get in the business. You know, most agents struggle.
Right.
Well, my friend and broker at the time had just started buying leads, and he had invested in this system that was, you know, bringing the leads in for him. And he really just said to me, sit in this chair, sit in front of this computer, all these leads are going to come through, and just go sell them houses, right? Like, there wasn't really a system at the time, and he was the only one doing it. So the leads coming in were really, really good leads.
Right.
So it was just like a storm of leads coming through, and that's exactly what I did, is went and just sold them houses. So it was awesome. I mean, I was making money and closing deals right off the bat.
Yeah, right. Not most agents probably don't have that same experience, right? You know, or some do, I guess, if you all in on Zillow leads, but those can be expensive.
Yeah, and the quality of leads is different, you know, because everyone's doing it now, and it's a thing. So before it was new, and it was serious buyers that wanted to buy houses.
Yeah,
so it's
I remember
great.
He kind of went all in with the website stuff, and he was really kind of found a little niche where he was spending a good bit of money on those leads and the back end system.
Oh yeah,
they were processed and everything else like that. So tell us a little bit about that transition from where you were to obviously starting District South, which was, you know, we said it in the intro, was a small boutique brokerage. Tell us a little bit about that transition.
Well, so where I was before was great. I mean, it was a great place for me to start out. I really can thank him for, you know, getting me going so quickly and helping me, you know, gain the knowledge I needed to be an awesome real estate agent.
Right.
And things over there were great.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, I can't say anything bad about it. It was awesome, but it's just with anything in life, you know, when you want to grow, you need to make a change. And so I had the opportunity to partner up with another amazing agent in Acadiana. He approached me and said, hey, let's do this thing. And to be quite honest, it was just an offer that I couldn't refuse.
Right.
You know, I mean, Sean Hedit, she's my business partner with District South. I mean, he is just super, super knowledgeable. He's innovative, and I learned a lot from him. But anyways, we thought, look, we could get together and start this boutique brokerage. We could have this really sexy, sleek branding, which Lafayette did not have at the time, and attract like-minded agents. That's exactly what we did, and it was fantastic. We, you know, I think before we transitioned to Real, we had about 45 agents.
Right.
Top producers in the community, and I really learned a lot being a business owner, being surrounded by these amazing people. Like I said, being able to be in a partnership with Sean, it was definitely an experience that I would never change.
Yeah, and that was always so attractive for me. I saw what y'all were doing, and like everybody watches what you're doing, and I had a lot of loyalty for the brand. I kind of helped start that other local company, and I kind of was almost the face of it, being there 18 years at that company. But I was always watching what you did. And Lindsay Reed was a good friend of mine, who she also came, from that other brand and came to District South, and I just watched her level up. And I was like, what is she doing? She's leveling up her business, and she was just growing like crazy. So I knew that. Although I talked to another brokerage before I came to you guys, and I said, I want to be a part of that. Like, I knew that when I finally decided, and for me, it's like moving a mountain, but like once I decided that I wanted to make a move, I was like, District South is where I want to be. So I moved there about 2 years ago. I don't even know, around that time.
Yeah, and same like what you're saying. when I was thinking about also making a move, I looked at that same brokerage, and when I was looking, I thought, man, the money really looks awesome, right? Like, I really, really like that. But because of like where you and I both came from, community, that was really important to me, the culture, and that other brokerage I felt didn't have that for me, and I didn't want to just be in a place that didn't offer me that, because I knew that had so much to do with my growth, and just feeling supported with other agents was huge for me. And so I expressed that to Sean, when we were talking about starting District South. I was like, I feel like this other brokerage, because he was trying to bring me to that other brokerage. Gotcha. He was at another brokerage.
Yeah. And that's the brokerage I'm talking about. Yeah.
Exactly. I feel like they just didn't have that for me. So he's like, well, let's just get together and let's do our own deal. We could bring the best of both worlds, combine them, and out pop District South. So it was amazing. And I love hearing like what you said about Lindsay leveling up and other agents. I really saw that. I mean, that was awesome. But it had to do with the people that we were surrounding ourselves with, and creating an environment where agents could build their own brand and not be overshadowed by like the brokerage's brand.
Gotcha.
Right? And really come into their own and their own personality with their business and their marketing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of like being a small fish in a small bowl or whatever. Some of us are limited by the environment that we're in. And then when you get around those top producers and everything else like that you guys were able to cultivate at District South, like you just grow like crazy. Because like you take that little small fish and you put her in a big pond and you say, okay, now you're with these big fish and let's roll.
Right. And I think for every agent, like when we're, talking about change, there's seasons for everything. When you're a new agent, you need to look for a brokerage where you can get training. You can get a lot of one-on-one, because obviously you want to get to where you're going as fast as you possibly can so you can start making a lot of money, right? But then once you're established, maybe you need a little something different, so you start looking around, wondering what else is out there. And for me, I don't care what it is in my life. Every time I make a change, something really amazing happens.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's really scary, it's really uncomfortable, and you feel like you just don't want to do it, and everything in you is just resisting, but then you do it and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot believe that I waited this long and hesitated and like put this off.
That's the part that killed me. Was like, I waited. I should have came when Lindsay Reed came.
Yeah.
At that point, I saw it and I said, this is awesome, and I want to be a part of it, and I longed to have that kind of that culture that we had kind of 11 years ago or whatever when you got into the business. Like, I wanted that.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to be surrounded by top producers.
Right.
And like, for me and my experiences at the other office, it was like I was, the top dog or whatever. I'm like, this is cool, but like I've hit the ceiling or whatever.
Right.
Like, I need to be around people who are doing better production, higher production, and having somebody to look up to instead of people looking up to me. Mm-hmm. So that was really cool about how that happened. But what I and what I'd like to talk about too was like, okay, so let's talk about like in the beginning, like at District South and at that small brokerage that you had, you were kind of like exclusive, right? Mm-hmm. So talk about like the difference between, that exclusive versus, we're calling it inclusive, of course.
What we're doing now with Real. Right. Yeah. So with District South, we kind of had to be exclusive. Sean and I were running this business. I was the broker. He was like the team leader role.
Right.
And we were both still selling real estate. Right. We had our own real estate businesses. So we really wouldn't have been able to manage 150 agents. There would have been no way, right? To make every agent feel like they're special and have a place. And that's really what we wanted with our brokerage. The other thing that we were really aware of is protecting our culture. So we knew that if we brought in a whole lot of agents, it really could be detrimental to that.
Right.
I think that our agents with the District South model liked it being small.
Right.
And when we opened District South, we said 40 agents. That's what we're shooting for, 40 agents. We got that number really quickly. We went a little bit over, but it was because they were the right people. We thought it was going to be the right fit.
Right.
Right. With Real, we are more inclusive, and we can do that.
Right.
We have Wendy LeBlanc. She's our state broker, so I'm not having to fill those shoes anymore.
Right.
What's also been really cool is the agents here have really stepped up and wanted more of a leadership role. So now Sean's not having to do the team leader stuff every single week. We have agents that have stepped up, and they're running in charge of the team meetings. They're doing the socials, so it's really been able to take a lot of the work off our backs.
Right.
And now we don't really have a say as to who comes and joins Real. Everybody's acting like it's their own business. So like you've brought in a lot of awesome agents. And I know that when you're doing that, you're taking a little bit of responsibility for them.
Yeah,
absolutely. You're saying, I see that they can do this. I see that they're going to be a good fit. If they need anything, I'm going to help them, right? You're not just like flipping them over to the broker to
absolutely.
do it, And so I have really been so pleased and so impressed. Like just when we sit down in our meetings,
right.
And I'm like looking around and I'm like, holy crap. Like I am truly surrounded by the best agents in this town.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's working out. We're still, in District South, we were not recruiting. We're just kind of doing our thing. And we thought, if we do our thing, people outside our group would see what we're doing. And if they aligned, they'd come to us. We'd attract them, right? And that's happening still now.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's happening the exact same way. We're not out, really going out of our way to recruit or anything, but those good agents are saying, hey, what's going on?
Right.
So we want to be a part of it.
Yeah, and it's like, Sean and I own District South, and we were the leaders, but like now it feels like we're all in this together, right? Like we're all owners of this business, and we all want it to succeed, and we all want it to grow, and that's happening. I mean, I'm seeing it.
Yeah, and that's got to be fun for y'all to kind of see the baby that you created, grow up and have kids.
Yeah.
Have grandkids.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of fun for y'all to see that happened. But the core of the culture that you guys, and we talk about this on the podcast a lot, is the core of the culture that came from the original group. Is
still
awesome.
here. Yeah.
It's still here.
And it's still here. We
and
still have it.
Yeah.
And now we can offer them,
right, stock
all this other stuff, all this other stuff to help them build long-term wealth, and it's awesome. But I think it's what needed to happen. Looking forward and moving to the future, it's what needed to happen for us to just stay relevant.
Yeah.
And be able to keep everybody together and keep everybody growing. So
yeah, and it's what's funny is I talked to Bill Bakke, and then we may have him on a podcast at some point. But he's very respected in the community. Mm-hmm. He's has 30, 40 years of education and knowledge in the real estate business and stuff like that. And I saw him the other day at Festival International. I was parked in front of his house. I didn't even know it. So he walks out. Hey, Bill, what's going on? And we just got to chatting, even just for a few minutes while we were loading the twins up and trying to get out of there. But he said something about, what's on the chopping block right now is these small brokerages.
Yeah.
He says agents are just looking for something more than what they've been getting at these small brokerages. And I'm like, it's so true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like we, as agents, we own our own business. We pay our own taxes. We pay our own health insurance, everything. But, what are we putting in our future pot for retirement and everything else?
That's right.
And
That's right.
It's crazy. You think about just doing transactions and then,
yeah.
It's just the models have, the traditional brokerage models.
I know.
And for him to say that, not involved in our company.
You would think he would be very old school, just where he came from and stuff. You would think he would have a difference in opinion.
I'm going to have to talk to him a little. I have to get him on the podcast because Joel Bakke was with us, his son, and I need to get some clarity on what, his thoughts behind that,
Yeah.
because he's so well respected. We love what we're doing, and we love everything about it. But for somebody like that to have that experience from the old school 30 years ago, it'd be nice to hear his thoughts on it. So, but just so we can kind of talk about maybe your career and how you've been able to build a successful business. Like, I know you're like me in the sense that you do a lot for your past clients and stuff like that. So let's kind of pivot and talk about like what you do for your client base and how you stay relevant to them.
It is, I have no secrets when it comes to this. For me, it's just about forming and maintaining good relationships. It's about building trust.
Right.
Right. When I go into a transaction with a client, that client has either come to me because they've done business with me before, or they were sent to me by a person that, they trust, that I've
Right.
done business with previously. I truly want to be there when I'm doing this, right? Like, I'm not just doing it because I've got bills to pay, although,
Yeah.
that is a side effect. You get paid for what we do. But, I really hear them. They tell me, what the objective is, what they're trying to do and accomplish, what their goals are, what's important to them, what they're scared of, what they might be worried about. And I really hear all of those things and take it into consideration whenever I'm moving forward with them. And when you're authentic with someone, they know.
Yeah.
They know, and they can feel it, and they remember it, right? So when they have a friend or a family member or coworker, whoever it may be, that is about to jump into the process of buying or selling a home or a commercial property or whatever,
Right.
they're going to think of me.
Yeah.
Because they remember the good job I did for them.
Yeah.
They remember that feeling. And man, does it feel good to like get a call from someone that says, so-and-so said you're going to take care of me.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what it's about for me. I love it. That's the best call I can get.
Yeah.
And I will. Those people know that they can trust their family and friends with me, and I absolutely will take the best care of them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and one thing I'll add to that too is I had a conversation with an agent, and she's a top producer, and she's in kind of the top 40 or 50 agents in town. And I was chatting with her about, kind of how she runs her business, because she does a great job and you can feel it. But her husband is very successful, and she says, hey, he pays all the bills or whatever. So I don't need to make $1 from real estate. I really don't. She said, I just invested or whatever. But she says, they can feel it, that you don't have that, we call it like commission breath or whatever,
Right.
They can feel that you are absolutely 100% in it for them and not for the money. Like, that's obviously the best thing, right? Whereas you get some agents that are like, my mortgage is due and I got to make a deal. And, all of those things are kind of transparent in the way that you talk and the way that you're, the way that you act, or maybe they didn't spend the time really, like you said, getting to really find out what their goals were, or
Right.
getting to find out like really what was like important to them.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
that's, I think, important to agents to say,
Yeah.
hey, slow down, really understand the client,
Listen.
really understand why they're wanting to move, understand why they're wanting to sell, and then help them.
Yeah, because in residential real estate, it is personal.
Yeah.
It's personal. This is an emotional thing they're going through. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy to sell a house and pack up everything and move your family. It's hard and it's stressful.
Yeah.
And to be able to be there for them and guide them through that, and you're in it and you're immersed in it. I mean, you can't help but care.
Yeah.
And I do. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. And that's great advice coming from somebody who's been a top producer for a long time, and that's the entire way that you run your business. That's like a great advice. And we forget about that sometimes. Like, hey, really just calm down, when you're in that first meeting, chill, hang out, find what's important to them, find out what their goals are.
Be
Find out why
relatable.
they're
Yeah.
moving, and that's those things that people really remember. Like, Jamie really, really cared about me. It wasn't like I'm
His next paycheck.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which
Yeah.
I love that, and that's great advice. And I hope that agents take that one thing from this whole this particular episode is chill out, calm down, find out what they're interested in, truly care, and really just try to find out what they're looking for.
Yeah, relationships are important. I mean, no matter what really industry you're in, sales or not, relationships are important in life.
Yeah.
You definitely learn a lot. And in real estate, it's, not just your clients that it's important to have relationship with, or people that are going to send you business, but other people in this industry.
Yeah.
I mean, I love hanging out with other real estate agents.
Yeah.
Some people are like, well, why would you want to hang out with them? They're never going to send you business. No, but we're going to be doing deals together, and we're going to be working together.
Absolutely.
And I want to be on the same page. I want to know that other person that I'm doing the deal with.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And we learn from each other, and we, we're in the trenches together, and even agents that aren't working in my brokerage, outside agents, I want to know you.
Yeah. And I want the best for the transaction too. We talked about that plenty of times on the podcast. Like, I want the best for the transaction. I want to sit at that closing.
Yeah.
And I want to sit across from that buyer, even though I'm not representing them. And I want to say, congratulations, you're getting a great house. Mm-hmm. And, so-and-so did a great job.
Right.
They really did. I'm so glad that they helped you.
Right. Because, I mean, you can agree with this. I mean, when you have another agent on the other side that's like just resisting you, like, how you have sometimes you're doing a deal and you've got that agent that, like, it feels like you're in the courtroom.
Yeah.
Like someone's going to be guilty and someone's going to be innocent. I'm like, no. Like, we're on the same team, right? Like, we're headed toward the same finish line.
Right.
Like, let's work together and get this done.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we're not against each other. We're not on other sides, And it's funny that agents take that mindset and that
personal.
path to it, like as if,
so touchy
they're over here and that's how they negotiate or whatever. And I'm like, cool, let's negotiate. But also let's find a path that
win-win.
both parties can win.
Right. Yeah.
Like, this is crazy. Like,
it's funny. It
sellers
makes me
want to
laugh.
sell, buyers want to buy, and like, let's just find a path that's cool and that everybody can win. Mm-hmm. And then we sit across the table and it's cool.
Right.
But it's like, I don't know. I don't know why agents take that mindset. Or that path. It's like crazy. Like, why do that?
I know.
Like, and just be
it's
cool.
fun to like spit them though, when they come in like all huffy and puffy and they want to like, be the big shot, and just, be nice to them and kind of make some jokes, let them know, look, I'm a person too, I'm doing the same thing you are. Like, it's funny.
Yeah. But that's great advice. So another thing that you do too is you like to put yourself into, you do a lot of social things too. So you're in a lot of social situations. So like when you're out, like what are you doing? Like when you're out in the public?
Exactly that, socializing. I want to be out there with a smile on my face and talk to as many people as I can. Yeah. Really. Yeah. I mean, that's what I do, and it's awesome, to just go to a happy hour or something and sitting at the bar at wherever, rocking sake, and just, make your rounds and visit with as many people as possible. Yeah, I always find too like that too, because I hadn't got to get out as much with the little kids, but I always feel like every time I get out, like, go eat dinner with friends or go hang out, have a few drinks or something, like I always feel like I'd see somebody and I'm like, the other day I was sitting at a pizza place the other day, and I never get out, but I was with some of my tennis friends and hanging out at a pizza place, and I mean, just like 5-6 different groups of people that I knew. Some of them were like past clients. I'm like, dude, this is awesome. I need to do this more often. I know. I got to be careful though. Like, so typically I would work out like with a personal trainer, just like in a room with weights, just me and her, right? Well, the other day, a friend of mine, Mimi, was like, come with me to City Club. So I go with her to City Club, and I'm like, there's like 10 people there that I know, right? And so I'm like chatting it up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like, I gotta get the heck out of here. Like, I gotta start my day, because you're talking to everybody. Yeah. But I mean, that's what I do. You get out and you start visiting and make, have conversations that count. Yeah, absolutely. So one thing I'm gonna rip on you about is social media. You are not on social media, or you're very little on social media. A smidge, just a tiny bit. Yeah. But you do not love social media, right? Wow, no. I have just like a love-hate relationship with it. And listen, like, you can go on my social media and watch the videos that like zero have I done just because I wanted to. It's because Sean or Taryn made me. Right. I was going to say, because we forced you. Yeah. Like, I put you on the box, like, Carrie, let's go, baby. We need to go. We need to get this down. Y'all make me do this. And I just watch myself and I'm like, wow, like, it's just not me. I don't know what else to say. Yeah. Like, I'm just not used to being in front of the camera phone. Well, that's so funny, because you thrive in those social environments. But it's real. That's real, right. And it feels real to me. And like, on social media, it's just not. And I know, and I mean, I'm saying this for years, like I must get better because I understand that that's where everything is going. And I see other agents
Right.
like Lindsay and, Paige that are doing it, and they're doing such a great job. But
Right.
for me, it's going to take a lot of work on my part.
Yeah.
So no, anyone out there, if you see me on a video or doing whatever
That you
social
hate
media,
this.
I am super out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is funny that you have that mindset, but and you, what's funny is you do a good job. Like I've seen your videos and stuff like that. It's,
I mean, you're my friend and you're complimenting me because of that. I know it's not great, but
no,
whatever, I'll
is.
take
you,
it.
You think that it's not great. You hold yourself very well.
Okay.
You're always dressed amazing, and you're fine. I think you're in your own head with that.
All right. Well, dressing amazing is the least I can do with my horrible, whatever it is.
Social media.
Social media. Yeah.
Well, tell us, I guess, before we close up, tell us about the family. Tell us about the grandbaby. Tell us something that,
I mean, everything's awesome. My kids are doing great. They're growing up, and hopefully they'll be on their feet soon. That kind of takes a little bit longer.
Off of the paycheck, off the payroll.
Right. But they're out of jail, and
well, there you go.
Yeah. So that's good. That's and my grandbaby. I mean, she's perfect.
Yeah, I showed he showed me a picture before. She's an angel.
Yeah. So blessings all around. Very, very grateful.
Good. Well, any last words of encouragement that you'd have for any agent that may be listening, or may feel like they're stuck, or may, a word to an agent? Times
are tough right now, but as always in real estate, it's ebbs and flows. You got to just keep moving forward, and waking up in the morning, putting on your work clothes, putting on your makeup, and getting out of there and get yourself in front of people. That's what it's about. Get yourself in front of people, and you're going to be all right. And just continue to be authentic and being yourself, and just keep that hustle mindset and positive mindset, and everything's going to work out.
Yeah, absolutely. And those things that you just said are just the common theme of the podcast. Get up, get a workout, get going, get dressed, dress for success. Go in front of people, meet people, go to events, put yourself out there. And then also the next one you're missing is social media. But we'll talk about that later, or we can email or something.
Room for improvement on my end on that.
You'll get there. But appreciate you being on the podcast. And I hope that agents grabbed a lot of value from what you've said, and your personality and everything else from an agent that like really truly has been achieving a massive success from her referral client base. I think what you said is so perfect, and I hope that agents kind of resonate with you.
Well, thanks, Jamie.
And I hope that you guys have an amazing day, and I hope that you continue to follow our podcast and subscribe to them. So again, have a great day, and we really, 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 really appreciate you listening to our stories here in Cajun Country, Lafayette, Louisiana. And we'll talk to y'all soon.